All right, let's talk about AI in marketing. It's this brilliant, sometimes baffling, and let's be honest, occasionally bonkers world we're all diving into. Now, this tech has the power to totally change the way we do our jobs. But get it wrong, and you could end up with a bit more than just egg on your face. So let's get into it. And really, this is the big question, isn't it? Is AI going to be your new marketing superpower, your trusty sidekick? Or is it actually a massive liability just waiting to trip you up when you least expect it? In this session, we're going to look at both sides of that coin. So here's the plan. First, we're going to cover the essential stuff, the health and safety briefing to help you avoid making a fool of yourself online. Then we'll get to the really fun part, all the shiny new AI toys that are changing the game as we speak. We'll wrap it all up by talking about how to get the balance right, and then I'll leave you with a case study to get your teeth into back in the classroom. Right then, hard hats on. Before we get to play with all the cool new tech, we have to do the health and safety briefing. Think of this as your essential guide to not falling flat on your face in the digital world. It's important stuff. First up on our list of potential hazards, AI bias. Now you've got to understand, the AI isn't sitting there with a villainous plan. It's just a mirror. It only knows what you show it. So if the data you feed it is skewed, guess what? Its answers are going to be skewed too. The old saying is a cliche for a reason, because it's absolutely true. Garbage in, garbage out. And if you want a perfect, jaw-dropping example of garbage in, garbage out, here it is. Amazon built an AI to help with recruitment. They fed it 10 years worth of CVs, which back then were mostly from men. The result? The AI literally taught itself to be sexist. It started automatically binning CVs that mentioned the word women's. They had to scrap the entire project. It's a massive warning sign, right? Okay, next up, data privacy. And we've all felt this, haven't we? There's a very, very fine line between being helpful and being just plain creepy. Helpful is, hey, you bought these trainers, you might like these socks. Creepy is when you're just talking to your mate about wanting a new shed and suddenly every single ad on your phone is for sheds. It just feels wrong and it kills trust. So the lesson here is pretty simple, isn't it? Don't be creepy. Here in Britain, we like our privacy. It's why we invented net curtains. And using AI to invade someone's data privacy, well, that's the digital version of twitching those curtains and having a good old nosy. That's why we have rules like GDPR. They're not just there to give you a headache, they're about showing basic respect for your customers. Have you ever been scrolling through a streaming service and it recommends a film so completely out of left field you just think, what? Where on earth did that come from? Well, that's probably because of the black box problem. Sometimes the AI's logic is so complex that even the people who built it can't tell you exactly why it made a certain decision. And if you can't explain it, how can you expect your customers to trust it? And that leads us to a really big one, over-reliance. It is so tempting to just flick the AI switch to on and go and make a cup of tea, but that can backfire badly. Just imagine a really upset customer trying to sort out a problem and all they get is a chatbot that says, I do not understand the question. A human would spot the context and show a bit of empathy. An AI can't. It's a brilliant assistant, but you have to be the boss. Okay, so let's pull all that together in a handy cheat sheet. To fight data bias, you have to use diverse data and run audits. To avoid privacy invasion, you've got to be transparent from the start. To build trust, you need to make your AI explainable. That's what XAI is all about. And to stop over-reliance, it's simple. Always, always keep a human in the loop. This is a good one to remember. All right, hard hats off, everyone. We have successfully navigated the minefield. Now for the fun bit. Let's open up the toolbox and have a look at the seriously cool, game-changing AI that's out there right now. This is where it gets exciting. Honestly, the speed that generative AI has evolved is just staggering. It feels like only yesterday we were all amazed that an AI could suggest a halfway decent email subject line. Now, you can type a few sentences into a tool and it will generate an entire video campaign for you. The jump from a simple helper to a full-on creative partner is just wow. And if you want to see a brand that's absolutely nailing this, look at what Coca-Cola did. This was genius. They used the tech from ChatGPT and DALL-E to create a platform where fans could make their own digital art using Coke's iconic assets. And the best ones? They ended up on massive digital billboards in Piccadilly Circus and Times Square. What a way to get your audience involved. Okay, changing gears, let's talk about voice and conversational AI. Think about it. We don't really type keywords into search engines anymore, do we?
We ask questions. We talk to our phones, we talk to our smart speakers. So here's a question for you to ponder. What would your customers actually ask Alexa or Siri about your brand? And are you ready to answer?
And this isn't some sci-fi future, it's already here. You're trying to figure out why your train's delayed, so you talk to the National Rail chatbot. Your hands are covered in flour, and you need the next step in a recipe, so you ask your Nestle kitchen helper. For loads of brands, this kind of conversational AI is becoming the new front door to their business.
Now this is where it gets really clever. This is what happens when AI teams up with augmented reality, or AR. L'Oreal's virtual try-on tool is the perfect example. You just use your phone's camera, and the AI lets you see what you'd look like with hundreds of different shades of lipstick, without actually putting any on. It's genius because it removes one of the biggest reasons people don't buy makeup online.
So that's the challenge I'm putting to you. It's not just for makeup. IKEA does it so you can see if a sofa will fit in your living room. Specsavers does it with glasses. So, what about your business? How could you use this tech to let your customers try before they buy right from their own sofa? It's a pretty powerful idea. So, we've seen the risks, those digital pratfalls we need to avoid. And we've seen the incredible, shiny potential. The final piece of the puzzle is bringing those two things together. Success today isn't about choosing the bot or the brain. It's about getting them to work together. And that, right there, is the essential skill for every single one of us.
Look, if there is one thing you take away from this whole session, make it this. AI is not here to take your job. It's here to change your job. You are the strategist, you're the creative director, you're the one with the common sense. Your job is to guide the AI, to question what it gives you, and, crucially, to know when to just switch it off and use your own brain.
Okay, to wrap things up, we're gonna turn the tables. I've done enough talking, now it's your turn. We've gone through the theory, let's see how it applies to your world.
So here is your case study for the classroom. I want you to have a really good think about these 3 questions, specifically for the company you work for. First, what's your single biggest ethical risk with AI? Second, which of those shiny new toys could make the biggest difference for you? And third, what's one simple, practical step you could take tomorrow to keep that human-in-the-loop balance? Mull those over and get ready to discuss them. Thanks for tuning in.